Okay, so have you ever really thought about it? Like how a penny gets that nice copper coating, or what keeps your jewelry from, just getting dull and grimy over time?
It's usually electroplating.
Exactly. Electroplating. And today we're diving into the world of the people behind the scenes who make all that happen. Electroplating machine operators.
Yeah, it's funny how something so essential can be, totally invisible to most people.
Totally. And to help us uncover all the ins and outs of this career path, we're turning to RoleCatcher.
Yeah.
They've got some seriously in-depth resources on this.
What I find really interesting about RoleCatcher is how they break everything down in such a practical way. It's not just, here's what the job is. It's like they're giving you a roadmap for, how to actually build a career out of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in. When we say electroplating machine operator,
Mhm.
what are we really talking about? What do they actually do all day?
Well, it's definitely more dynamic than you might think.
Really?
Oh, yeah. RoleCatcher mentions things like loading workpieces onto racks, which sounds pretty straightforward. Right. But those workpieces could be anything: car parts one day, delicate jewelry the next. And each piece needs to be prepped and positioned just right to make sure the plating comes out even. We're talking about a flawless finish, and it's the operator who makes sure that happens.
So there's a real attention to detail involved.
Absolutely, yeah.
They also talk about monitoring the electroplating process.
Yeah.
What does that actually look like?
So imagine it like this. You're basically baking something, but instead of flour and sugar, you're using electrical currents and different metal solutions to create that perfect coating. Operators are keeping an eye on those currents, making adjustments to the chemical baths, troubleshooting any problems that come up.
So there's a real science to it.
Oh, absolutely. Different metals react in different ways, so getting that desired finish is a really precise process.
Wow. That's fascinating. And it's not just like one industry either. RoleCatcher really blew me away with how many different industries use electroplating.
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, we've mentioned automotive, jewelry, electronics.
Right.
But you're also talking about aerospace components, medical devices. Pretty much any industry that uses metal in some way relies on electroplating to make it more durable, to improve conductivity, or even just for aesthetics to make things look better.
It's amazing what goes into the things we use every day.
Hmm.
It really is amazing. And speaking of things we don't always think about,
What's that?
soft skills.
Oh, right.
RoleCatcher really emphasizes those when it comes to electroplating machine operators, which I have to admit wasn't my first thought.
Well, when you think about the job, it makes sense, right? I mean, you're working in a team a lot of the time with engineers, quality control, all that to make sure those final products are up to par. And then there's the precision involved, the machinery. You really need that attention to detail, that problem-solving mindset.
So it's not just about knowing the technical stuff. It's about being a team player and really taking pride in the precision of the work.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, one thing that really jumped out at me in RoleCatcher's guides was the potential for career growth. It's not just a dead-end job, is it?
Not at all. No, they actually lay out different career stages you could go through. Like, you might start as an operator, learning the ropes, but then
Yeah.
you could move into things like supervising, quality control, even specialize in a certain type of plating. There's plating for electronics, aerospace, all sorts of specializations.
So you can really move up in this field.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I love that they emphasize that whole continuous learning thing, too.
It's so important.
Yeah. They even talked about opportunities to, specialize in new eco-friendly plating methods.
Right. Sustainability is huge right now.
So it's a field that's constantly evolving.
Absolutely. And that's something RoleCatcher stresses a lot. To really thrive in this field, you've got to stay curious, keep learning.
It's not just a one-and-done kind of thing.
Right. You're always learning. And that's actually where their platform is super helpful, because they don't just tell you about the job. They actually help you, navigate the whole job market thing, which can be a beast.
Oh, tell me about it. Those online application systems can be brutal. It's like you could be the perfect person for the job, but your resume just disappears into some black hole.
It's true. So many people, they just get lost in the shuffle. But that's what's so great about RoleCatcher. It actually works with those systems.
Oh, you mean?
So say you find a job you're really interested in,
Okay.
RoleCatcher, it can actually analyze the job description and break down exactly what the employer is looking for, like the skills, the experience, everything.
So it's like having a cheat sheet for the job market.
Pretty much.
I love it. But it doesn't stop there, does it? Because you
Right.
still have to make your resume, stand out.
Exactly. And that's the cool part. They actually help you tailor your resume for each job.
No way.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
Well, they might suggest changing some of the wording you used, highlighting different skills, even creating different versions of your resume depending on, what each specific employer is looking for.
So you're not just sending out the same generic resume to a million places and hoping for the best.
Exactly. It takes all the guesswork out of it.
Wow. That's a game changer. But, okay, let's say you've got a killer resume. You've made it past the robots, and now you've got an interview.
Okay. Yeah.
Those can be scary.
Oh, for sure. So nerve-wracking. But RoleCatcher has you covered there, too. They have a ton of interview prep resources. Like, they have a database of over 120,000 practice interview questions.
Wait, 120,000?
No, right.
Are we talking like generic interview questions or like specific to electroplating?
Both. They've got it all from the classics like, tell me about yourself,
Right.
to stuff that's super specific to electroplating, like the different processes, safety stuff, even like troubleshooting scenarios you might encounter on the job.
Wow. So you go into that interview feeling like you can handle anything?
Sure.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And get this, for people who really want to, go the extra mile, they even have this AI-powered feedback system.
AI, huh? What does that do?
So you can record yourself answering questions, and their system will analyze your delivery, the content, all of it, and give you feedback.
Whoa. It's like having a personal interview coach. That's amazing. But even with all this amazing tech, I'm guessing networking is still super important.
Oh, absolutely. You can't beat that personal connection.
Right. Like, you can't just rely on algorithms and online applications, right?
Totally. And RoleCatcher knows that. They actually have features built in specifically for networking with other people in the electroplating industry.
So they're not just, like, throwing you into a sea of job postings. They're actually helping you connect with real people.
Yeah, it's about building relationships, getting advice from people who've been there,
Makes sense. Because sometimes it feels like in this job market, it's not even about what you know, it's who you know.
It's so true. And RoleCatcher gets that. So before we wrap up here, I'm curious. What does RoleCatcher have to say about the future of this whole electroplating thing? It seems like an industry that's got to be changing with all the new technology, the focus on sustainability.
It definitely is. RoleCatcher actually highlighted that a lot. Like, there's a big push for eco-friendly plating methods right now.
What does that even mean? Eco-friendly plating.
Well, it's all about using less toxic chemicals, finding new materials that are more sustainable, things like that.
Interesting.
And then there's the automation side of things, which is changing how operators work too.
It's like you learn the ropes, but then the industry's like, just kidding, time to learn some new ropes.
Right. You got to stay on top of things. But hey, that's what keeps things interesting.
I guess so. So, okay, for anyone listening who's thinking, hey, maybe this electroplating thing is for me, what's the takeaway here?
Well, if you're someone who likes working with their hands, you enjoy the technical side of things, and you want a job where you can really build a career, then honestly, Electroplating Machine Operator could be a great fit.
And with a resource like RoleCatcher in your corner, you don't have to figure it all out alone, right?
Exactly. They've got your back from understanding what the job's all about to prepping for interviews to staying up to date on the latest and greatest in the industry.
They've got it all. So listeners, as you continue exploring the world of electroplating, and hey, you should definitely check out RoleCatcher while you're at it. Think about this. Everything we use, almost everything we touch, has probably gone through some kind of electroplating process.
It's true. Your phone, your car keys, even the jewelry you're wearing.
It's all thanks to electroplating machine operators. It's a career with real impact. So why not see if it's the right fit for you?